Wouldn't you like to do recovery perfectly, but perhaps you find yourself procrastinating or being controlling, and then you become enraged? Maybe you still view yourself as a victim, or you're depressed. Or maybe you're abstaining from initially identified addiction, but have switched to another addiction. Now that's a rough depiction of recovery. Yet every one of those dynamics, from perfectionism to procrastination, control, rage, victimization, depression, and addictive disorders, they are pervasive issues that sabotage any recovery, be it recovery from family issues or addiction. The thread that connects each of these issues is trauma, be it emotional or physical trauma, and from that, unhealthy, toxic shame, shame that most likely was internalized in your growing up years. Identifying these issues for yourself and recognizing the faulty beliefs that support these behaviors empower you to step outside this circle of trauma and move to a healthier path of recovery. Toxic shame is produced from the painful feelings that evolve from the belief that you are not okay. Words that would be descriptive would be to think of yourself as inadequate, insufficient, less than, ugly, dirty, damaged goods, or stupid. You know, I'm just so stupid I can't get anything right. My experience is that when you begin to pull away the layers of shame, what you will find at the core of the feeling is the experience of abandonment. Now, there are two types of abandonment. There's physical and emotional. Physical abandonment is when your basic physical needs are not consistently attended to, such as food, clothing, shelter, or when there's inadequate supervision. Or if you experienced physical or sexual abuse, anytime you're treated as an object versus respected as a person. When there is physical abandonment, there's always emotional. But even more common is the emotional abandonment by itself. Now, there are two ways to think of emotional abandonment. The first is to imagine if I were to draw a line across a large piece of paper, and at one end of the line you saw the word acceptance, and at the other side you saw rejection. What you would have in between are varying degrees and varying depths of emotional unavailability on the part of the primary caregivers and parental indifference to a child's needs and wants. Now, a second way to think about emotional abandonment is believing that you have to hide a part of who you are in order to be acceptable, or maybe to protect yourself. What I mean by that is, as a child, you had to hide your mistakes, that it wasn't okay in the family in which you were raised to make a mistake. Or you had to hide your vulnerabilities, or it wasn't safe to show your feelings, or your needs. Abandonment also occurs when you cannot live up to the expectations of significant others because those expectations are unrealistic. Or when somebody is disappointed with you and they attack your whole being, your worth, your value, versus what it is you did or did not do. So what do we do with all of this? We create masks. We cannot trust ourselves, so we shut down, we zip up, and we freeze our feelings because we don't want to run the risk of being hurt. These masks manifest themselves in a variety of ways, and one of the responses is to become controlling, the manipulation of people, places, and things. It compensates for our defectiveness. It compensates for my sense of inadequacy or my belief that I'm insufficient. Controlling behavior defends against powerlessness. It's my way as well of making sure that nobody ever gets close enough to me to see into that which I believe is not okay. But for those people who struggle even more so with controlling behavior, it is not just a response to shame. It's also learned as a way in which to bring safety, consistency, and predictability into your life when life has not been safe.